Hello and welcome back. So, what I have in front of me here is, well, there's quite a few things. I have a whole bunch of pots and trays because I still need to start my a bunch of flowers, herbs, lettuces, cucumbers, melons, and squashes. It's currently May 12th, but there's still time to get things done. Hopefully, I can have a couple week-old starts to get in the ground soon. And those are actually just empty packets of wildflower mixes that I put in my front yard. What we're actually focusing on today is this big bucket of seeds and this garlic. So, this is just a head of garlic that I got from the grocery store. I thought that it looked pretty good, so I need to divide this up so that I can plant it. I know that fall is the ideal time to plant garlic, but I want to see what happens when you plant garlic in the spring and it doesn't get choked out by weeds, like that's what happened last year. So I'll just deal with that as it comes. But I just want to, there's just a lot of experimentation this year. And then here, I have a whole bunch of seeds. Now, there are some peas and spinach, and there's a lot of beets and carrots and radishes, and honestly, the majority of it is beets and carrots and radishes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort through here, and the peas, beets, radishes, and carrots, I'm going to separate out into these little containers so that I don't have to bring the packets down with me, because I don't have the space. Hi, Victor. This is my cat. He's very helpful. What are you doing, little dude? Okay, as I was saying before the cat interrupted me, he's over on the chair for now. We'll see if he stays there. I'm going to go through and I'm just going to mix together all of the beet varieties, all of the carrot varieties, and all the radish varieties, and then I'm just going to have a patch of each. So I'm not exactly sure what is going to grow, but I'm not too concerned about that. I just want a big variety of things. So we'll go through. It's going to be the same thing with my peas. I really don't want a ton of pea plants, but I have two sugar snap peas and one snow pea. So I'm going to use those. And then what else? I honestly went through all of my seeds, which is a giant photo case, like literally hundreds of dollars worth of seeds. And I just pulled out what I wanted, and I apparently didn't exclude anything. So I have this spinach. I think I have another spinach, actually. Yeah, I also have that spinach. So I'm going to plant those. And then I have some arugula. And then I think we just get into the carrots. I have purple carrots, deep purple carrots, Littlefinger, more purple carrots, a blend of carrots, rainbow hybrid, Napoli hybrid. And then I think that's it for my carrots. Let me look. Okay. And then we have a Swiss chard, a Chinese broccoli, and then I think we're getting into beets. So we have a blend of beets, a striped beet, bull's blood beet, avalanche, golden boy, touchstone gold, Detroit Supreme, Cylindra, early wonder, and then another mix. And then push those out to the side. Then I think everything else is radishes. Hold on. Oh, that's a turnip. I also have a turnip apparently. But I have a mix of radishes, another mix of radishes that was just a free packet, French breakfast radishes. These I think are like a watermelon radish. Black radishes, and then an Easter egg blend. So we're gonna go through these, get the carrots, radishes, beets, and peas into these little containers, get the garlic separated out, and then the rest of the seeds, I'll just bring the packets down with me. And then probably tomorrow we'll get the beds prepped and get everything planted out. Okay, so it is now the next day, May 13th, and I went through and I have my bucket of goodies. It looks a lot better than it did yesterday. So I have my garlic, I have my my variety of seeds, and then the individual seeds. I just got done weeding and topping up the corner beds and the grow bags with fresh soil, so everything is weeded and ready to go. I need to plant those seeds that are in the bucket and the garlic, as well as the garlic. I want to put up the rest of the trellises and get everything watered in. I've been out here for a little while now. It's a bit hot. I need to go take a little break, but I will see you back out here once I've gotten things done. Okay, so we're back. It has actually been several days since the last clip. The last clip was done Saturday, May 13th. It was the day before Mother's Day. And today is Tuesday, May 23rd. But last Monday, not yesterday, last Monday the 15th, I came out here and I planted out the seeds that I had separated out, that I showed in the last clip. And then last Friday, I came out here and planted those tomatoes, that cucumber, there's a little pea plant over there, and the ground cherries in the corner. So over here we have radishes that are starting to come up, just these little guys here. And then I believe we did carrots. And then down over here in this section we have beets. My potatoes are looking pretty good. There's nothing in these few beds. Let me turn around here. This was supposed to be a tomato. Brooke picked up the tray to help me bring it down so I could get stuff planted out. And it just snapped. The stem just snapped right at the base. I had tried to just stick it right in the soil, but it like wilted within like the half hour that I was out here. So that's currently inside in some water. I'm trying to root that out so I can plant it out here. This is garlic that is just sprouting. I know spring is not the ideal time to plant it, but it is what it is. And then we have my other cherry tomato, which looks beautiful. And then over here, which is absolutely covered in bugs, which I need to, like, look at that. Terrible. I need to squash these bugs. I need to be on top of it this year. But here are my ground cherries, which were absolutely covered in fruit that I picked off all the fruit and blossoms that I saw, because these plants need to work on their root system and growing strong and not producing fruit. And then over here, I planted a little row of, I believe that was rainbow chard and turnips, I believe. And then I know that there's two little baby patches of arugula, two different kinds of arugula, two different little patches of spinach, and then some Chinese broccoli. I believe that's what I planted in this section. And then we have all of our beautiful brassicas, which after the initial shock of a transplant, they seem to be rooting out. And then we have our celery, and then our kale along the back, and then our little Napa cabbages. And then I'm not sure what that cucumber is. I don't have any other cucumbers. I need to plant a bunch of seeds out. That was a gift from a friend. And then I have my tomatoes. This one is supposed to be like a black tomato. I don't know what type that is. That was also a gift from a friend. But I have all my tomatoes that I started, and then there's nothing else in that bed. And then over here I have, I think that's a little volunteer dill right there. And then I planted peas along this little trellis, and a pea plant that was also a gift from a friend, and then a little volunteer lettuce, I believe. And there's also like a bunch of tomatillos popping up here because I had tomatillos here last year. And I believe that that is everything. Thank you for hanging out with me today. I hope you have a lovely day.